everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cloud Interrupted. Today we are talking with Chris Barroso, who is an engagement manager here at Stratum. And one of my favorite questions, Chris, to ask people is what exactly is it that you do here? So would you mind sharing with us what an engagement manager does?
Good afternoon, Steph. The engagement managers at Stratum have an interesting role because we're the one role in the organization that plays both sides of the coin. Mm-hmm. It is the engagement manager's responsibility to be the client advocate within the Stratum organization and also to be the resource that the clients use within Stratum to be the one-stop shop for anything and everything that they may need from the organization. Does that mean the engagement managers have all the answers? No, I promise you we don't. But we are the one-stop shop or the first line of defense for anything that the clients may need for their cloud needs. If a client has a question about a project, if a client has a question whether something's in scope or out of scope, whether it's possible in Azure or if you have to do it in AWS, these all types of questions can be brought to the engagement manager, and it's that engagement manager's responsibility to either know the answer or go find it and deliver it back to them. Again, best thing about an engagement manager for the end user is having that single point of contact for anything and everything they may need from us.
Yep, for sure. Good. So within those regular cadences that you have from customers, what kind of topics do you cover?
I cover anything and everything technology related. That's the one thing about the engagement manager role is we need to have a surface knowledge of so many different things, not only the technology that the clients are utilizing in whichever cloud we have them hosted in, but all the way down to their agreements. What's in scope, what's out of scope, what is included in what they pay us for their ongoing cloud operations support, what's out of scope for that, what their invoicing looks like, how to help them do the best possible optimization of their environment to decrease their cloud spend. That is the job of the engagement manager, is to have a bit of knowledge across so many subjects and be able to provide that high level support to them. And then if it needs to get more granular and get specific, then find out who that resource is in the Stratum team or from our vendors that can come up with the specific answers to the granular questions.
Yep. So I guess what I'm hearing you say then is it varies by customer. There isn't like a set agenda that you follow, like, okay, this week we're going to talk about this. It's really the customer kind of leading that conversation and the topics that are important to them.
That's very true on almost all cadences other than the quarterly business review. This is something that we do. A quarterly business review is exactly what it sounds like. We meet with our clients once a quarter to review what's happened over the last 3 months, whether it be service tickets, whether it be projects, whether it be invoices, whether it be all of these things. We looking at trending analysis to find out what servers have spiked CPU every Thursday for the last month or something like that. Any of those types of recurring issues, we try to focus on things of that nature during the quarterly business reviews, and we are able to have those conversations with anybody from all the way down on your IT staff all the way up to the CTO, the CFO, the CEO of the organization, so that they have that visibility from a high level into their technical environment without having to be boots on the ground, so to speak, and involved in the day-to-day operations.
So if you had to pick one aspect of your role that you didn't care for, that was probably the most challenging, what would you say that would be?
Microsoft billing. Fortunately enough, we've got really good resources available to us that I use heavily if and when I get to an issue when I'm not as familiar with the billing aspects. But Microsoft billing is harder to understand than Sanskrit. So the ability to find somebody that knows it or to lean on a resource within Microsoft is one of the really big benefits that Stratum has, both with our quote unquote buying power in Azure, the fact that we manage so many different clients with so much revenue in the cloud. And again, I keep mentioning Azure. We do it for AWS. We do it for GCP as well. We are cloud agnostic, but Azure is the most prominent that we use. And I have the most struggles with their billing aspects. So short answer, Microsoft billing is the toughest part of my job.
Yep, yep. And like you said, I know that we've leveraged those cloud consults quite a bit, especially when the billing changed for Microsoft. So we're blessed to have that as well. So if you had to advise a customer that's considering moving to the cloud, what do you think is the most important thing for them to know when they're making that decision?
Find a partner that is more focused on getting you where you need to be in the end and putting the plan in place to get there, as opposed to finding somebody that will simply move you to the cloud. It is so often, and I've learned this since being at Stratum, that whenever a client wants to go from a data center to the cloud, they take the 75 servers they have in the data center, they copy them, they make the same 75 servers in the cloud, and they expect it to run the same way. Well, it doesn't always work that way. Different types of disk, different CPU counts, different types of licensing. There's so many different aspects that can be different between what you're used to doing on-prem versus what you can do in the cloud, that this is one of the neatest things about migrating to the cloud. The reason you pick a company like Stratum is because we want to know what you have today. We're going to take the time to learn your business today. We're going to ask you the questions to say what your end goal is, and we'll help formulate the plan to get from A to B with all of the landmarks in between. Let's find out what the first month entails. Let's get everything consolidated down from your 75 servers to your 10, and then, well, 75 to 50, and then make sure we just move over the needed items. It allows you to decrease your footprint while in the process of a migration, which is the best way to save money when migrating to the cloud.
Yeah, good answer. And I think a lot of people, the kind of going back to what you said about the kind of copy paste, right? You copy on-prem and then paste it into the cloud, and it doesn't really work. There's definitely a lot of other things to consider there, other than, is the sizing going to be correct and things like that too. I hear you guys in your meetings talk about application modernization. People don't think about that, right? Like if you do that copy paste, like the app isn't necessarily going to copy over correctly. So I know that one of the things that we do during our assessment, right, is make sure that everything that's scheduled to be migrated is going to be able to have successful migration over. So I think that's an important piece to call out as well.
Exactly. And the fact that a lot of our clients have cyclical business in that, let's say that you've got a heavy load between the 20th and the 30th of the month every month, because that's your busy time. And then from the 1st to the 20th, it's very, very quiet. Well, we've got the skills, the knowledge, and the background to know, hey, you know what, we can cut back resources all the way back to almost nothing for 2/3 of the month, and then put something in place to really expand it and make it very robust for that shorter period of time whenever you're at your peak, so that you're not having to have the full gamut 30 days a month. You're really able to do something for that busy time of the month while still keeping your business running during the off time with a much lower overhead.
Yep, agreed, 100%. So why would a customer choose Stratum? What I think, if you could kind of wrap up everything that we just talked about and just give them, one last piece of advice, why would they choose Stratum to do that cloud migration and to manage their infrastructure?
Just because of our familiarity and experience with exactly that. That's what we do. Our bread and butter is you take a client environment, whether it's in a data center somewhere, a server closet, or a hybrid environment between data center and server closet, whatever they're in today. And we've done these over and over again and gotten those client environments into the cloud. Once they're in the cloud, we make sure that everything runs properly. We're able to get all of the migration done with having the least amount of business impact due to our scheduling capabilities, our ability to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the ability to truly do these things off of peak time and have the skill set available to make it happen and function the first time through. Now, does everything work perfectly the first time we move something over? No way. It's never going to work like that. But we do have the experience on hand and the resources at our disposal to make sure that we get these things running the way they need to be running with the lowest possible cost for our clients.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me today, Chris. I always enjoy my conversations with you. You always make me think about things I never thought about before, so I really appreciate that. Folks, thanks for joining us for Cloud Interrupted. If you like what you hear, make sure that you subscribe, like, and share these videos. And until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Chris.
Thank you for watching Stratum's Cloud Interrupted. If you like what you see, please subscribe, like, and share this video.